Hanover Castle stands at the gateway to England, overlooking the Channel. At its heart, a square stone palace built at huge cost for King Henry II as the ultimate symbol of magisterial power and wealth in 12th century Europe. On the outside, this is a formidable coastal fortress on a vast scale designed to repel invasion. Inside, extravagant furnishing and lavish decoration reflect the medieval monarch's politically ambitious nature.
Set of laws in this land that apply to all, the meanest and lowliest to the very greatest.
It was just a big PR exercise for Henry II, who'd allegedly had Thomas à Becket killed, and then all of these VIPs came over from Europe to Canterbury to visit the shrine of Becket. Henry didn't really have anywhere to put them up, and so he built this great tower as a symbol of his power.
More than 800 years later, English Heritage has invested several years of research and more than £2 million to give the tower's interior a sumptuous makeover.
We've redisplayed about 12 rooms here to show how it would have been during medieval times in 1170 when Henry built the Great Tower to use as a fantastic B&B. A bit like Versace probably would have created if he was still around, I suppose.
For all its wonderful flamboyance, the Great Tower's rooms feel surprisingly homely. Woven designs warm the grey stone walls. Cartoon-style murals illustrate chapters from the King's life. Brightly coloured furniture is set with a host of everyday household objects. Leisure time was spent entertaining friends and family with music and board games, played in front of a roaring hearth.
Visitors will come and they'll be treated as a guest of Henry II and feel like they've really come into his home. Before they come into the Great Tower, there's an exhibition which tells the story of Henry II and his family.
The Plantagenets retained the throne of England for 400 years.
And once people have got the background for that, they can then come into the Great Tower. People can see the King's crown and his orb that have been recreated, obviously, in 12th century styles. Visitors tend to think of medieval times as very drab and grey, but they weren't. They used the most vibrant colours, as you can see, all sorts of turquoises and greens and reds. You know, it really is sumptuous. I mean, everything that we've put in here, we want children to be able to touch and experience. There are lots of characters that they can relate to. One in particular is known as Roland the Farter, so he's going down very well with children. And he actually was King Henry II's court jester. He was a real person, that was his name, and King Henry, I believe, gave him 60 acres of land as a thank you for a leap, a whistle and a fart, which is what his job was. It's cost £2.5 million, but I think when you come and see what we've got for that money, it's money very, very well spent. So we've used 140 craftsmen from all over the country to recreate the 12th century, basically. So they'll see the way that Henry II lived, they'll be able to see his guest chambers, and also down below stairs we have the kitchens and the brewery. So there's plenty of rooms for people to see. It's the only place really, or certainly in this country, if not Europe, where you can see a 12th century palace decorated in this way, with the most fantastic sort of vibrant colours that people don't really expect.
The extravagant furnishings and decoration lavished on the inside of the Great Tower are testament to how vividly King Henry spared no expense when playing host to the royal visitors and political opponents who stayed there on their way to Canterbury. How amazed he would have been 800 years later to see how 20th century technology has been used to celebrate English heritage's remarkable recreation of Henry II's dream palace.
And your servants will give you great praise.
using the symbols that you see inside the Great Tower. Pictures of Henry II, the fleur-de-lis. So all of the images are taken from inside and they'll just be blasted around the castle. So it'll be very, very colourful. We're also using a virtual paintbrush so that people that come here tonight can actually paint images onto the side of the castle, which has never been done before. So that's really exciting. We've just had the most phenomenal feedback. People are so enthusiastic about it. We've already had numerous phone calls of people asking us to do it again and again and again. It should be an annual event, so maybe it's something we'll think about for the future.